everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel. Today we are we're not taking anything. We're just talking. That's what we're doing. That's the big brain play. It is a hot one here today in Arizona. And soon to be my last few days here. My days are numbered in Arizona. Get it? Arizona, because it's Arizona tea. Anyway. Funny thing. I'm going to be moving soon. Again, I know, I move a lot. I am a nomad. I go where I feel. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's kind of what I do. I'm going to be moving out of Arizona soon. Arizona has been pretty good, honestly. Like, my experience here has been pretty rewarding. I thought I'd make more friends here than I did, and I made some really good friends here. Friends that I will take with me for the rest of my life. But I'm going to be moving to Iceland. Now, some of you may be asking, Alexis, why Iceland? And to answer that is, I'm moving in with my fiancé, husband, Victor, finally. It's about time. Honestly, we've been dating, what, 3-4 years? Off and on. Yeah. But. With moving comes a lot of dumb stuff. Like moving all my armies. Realizing that I had more armies than I thought I had. And armies that I wanted to start because reasons. Like, I wanted to start a 1,000 Sun army. I now have a 1,000 Sun army. I wanted to start a Grey Knight army. Now I have a Grey Knight army. Well, more of a Grey Knight army. I want to start Orks because of Beast Nagas. So yeah, like, I want to do all of this stuff. And I want to recollect my Daughters of Cain when I moved to Iceland. So yeah. What kind of army was he running? Victor runs AdMech, and I bought him a new AdMech army so that he can get more added to his army. What all did I miss? Nothing, Geeko. We were just calling you a butt. Oh, excuse me. Are you at all interested in a 40k Thesaurus series? That'd be interesting. I don't know how I would go about doing that. I kind of want to... I was thinking about this today. I kind of want to do... First, I want to fix that. But I kind of want to do a... How to explain this? Like an open play rulebook for characters that don't exist anymore or have never gotten anything in 40k, like my Inquisitor Codex that I've been working on. Relationship goals. Oh, thanks. Orcs seem like more competitive than fun with the new updates. Oh god, they're far from competitive. They're actually a really balanced army right now, and they are super fun to play. Like, there's a ton of different ways to play them. Boy Herd, like Green Tide, isn't as good as it used to be. Give it an FAQ or two and some points drops and Green Tide will be back. Iceland is super expensive. You're right. Is there a GW in Iceland? There is a place called Nexus, and Nexus sells GW stuff. So I'm gonna be hanging out there quite a bit. Better like fish? Oh god, no. That's the weird thing is I don't like fish. I do not in any way at all enjoy fish. I hate fish. And that's pretty much what Icelanders eat. Do you have any recommendations to start playing Grey Knights? Buy 2 Strike Squad boxes. You'll have your 3 Strike Squads. Buy yourself a one paladin box. You can get yourself a librarian, a brother captain out of it, and one Terminator, Apothecary, and 2 Strike members, which you can do whatever you want with them. And you have a decent start for an army with a battalion detachment really quick. And then it's just adding to that force. Since you used to work for GW, I don't know what you mean by since I used to work for GW. I am sponsored by GW. I do not work for them. But I work for game stores, and I've managed a game store for like 7 years. When was the last time the Imperial Guard was updated? I'm new to Guard. Psychic Awakening. One of their books, The Greater Good, I believe, has their stuff in it. I'm starting Adeptus Custodes. An Adeptus Custodes army list. Any tips? Invest in one type of unit. So what I mean by this is if you're going to go bikes, just buy a bunch of bikes. If you're going to go Terminators, buy a bunch of Terminators. If you're going to go mass infantry, go mass infantry. But don't try to mix and match right off the bat. It'll be very hard for you to build up an army and actually play at a reasonable level. But if you go like 3 bike squads and just 9 guard, you should be fine. It's expensive, but it should be fine. What do you think about the Orks being less multi-pose and less multi-options in the combat patrol box? Yeah, I saw that. I don't really like that, but I understand why they did it. Like, I get it, but I don't like it. Ulfar is here. Hello, Ulfar. A philosopher is here. Hello. Alexis. Hail Norn Queen, watching you from the Bronx. Yo, I'm from not Brooklyn, I'm from Queens. So I'm from Queens, New York. I'm actually, like, I was raised in Broad Channel, and you probably know where that is, which is the best part. Let's see. On the upside, you can easily travel in Europe. I'm not going to be traveling in Europe until they get COVID under control. I need to work on my orc army. It's going to be commandos and the other snake bites. I'm thinking doing snake bite for the new orcs, for my new orcas, because that's what I'm calling them, because get it, they're New Yorkers. I'm definitely going to base all the Squigosaurs on the Pachycephalosaurus from Jurassic Park and the Lost World. Definitely going to do that. And I'm definitely going to be probably running them as snake bites, but painting them in my own unique style like I usually do. Finally, someone who shares my hatred of fish. Yeah, fish is gross. Do you talk Icelandic? It's a weird language. It is a weird language. You're a weird language. I love you, Ulfar. No, I know some words in Icelandic, but I need to learn the language. With the Necrons, would you rather go for one of the 6 main dynasties or custom dynasty? One of the 6 mains, the ones that give you a +1 AP. COVID is under control. I got it tied up in my cellar. God, I wish. I actually went to a convention yesterday that had a few thousand people in attendance, and you had to wear a mask at all times. You still had to social distance as much as you could. I pretty much took like a ton of immune system boosters, was drinking orange juice like crazy in the morning, boosted my immune system to go to the event. Feel fine. Everyone at the event had to wear a mask, and there was actually a discount if you were vaccinated. So I thought that was really cool because most people had the vaccinated badge. Queens was underwater a few days ago. Yeah, my sisters were telling me about that. What if down Queens Boulevard? Just Caiaphas Kane Donald does. Oh my god, I want Caiaphas Kane to come to 40K, like the tabletop. When will there be Icelandic battle reports? As soon as I can get a table up at Victor's. That's going to be the big thing, is just getting an actual room for a table. We're probably going to use a 4x6 or a 4x5 on top of Victor's table to play on. So it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see if we can try it out. Fish can be amazing. No, it can't. You're lying. You know you're lying. You just need your QR code to show you're vaccinated. Weird. Being raised in South Louisiana, it was usually eat seafood or starve. Oh God, I would have starved. I would have died. I lived in Broad Channel, like right on the beach. Like, I hated seafood so much. It always smelled rotted, and I hated it. You've never played before? I don't know much about it, but where should I start if I want to do some tabletop stuff? First thing that I would suggest is that you try to find a local game store. You can actually use GW's website to locate a game store down on the bottom of their page, if they still do that. But if you can't, just search Facebook for Games Workshop groups in your area. Find a local game store and go in there to start learning how to play the tabletop game. My suggestion would be go with either Marines or Necrons, as they're the two easiest armies to learn in all of 40k. With the Necrons being the easiest. My Orc army will be the purple... Oh yeah, you were telling me about this. I like that idea. Why can't GW release plastic catacans? Don't they have plastic catacans? Like, isn't there... sprue plastic? I'm pretty sure it's plastic. Like, I am about 100% sure that the catacans are plastic. Forgot the new sculpts for them. They're not new, they're old. Like, they're from like 4th edition. I think. I want to say they're from like 4th edition. Born and raised in Detroit. No fish here either. Thank you. See, somebody gets it. Another thing is Icelandic cuisine. Yo, I had whale meat when I was in Iceland last time. That was delicious. That stuff was banging. No, but I want to start a proper orc army with a whole bunch of... Like, I want to start a squig orc army. I think it would just be a lot of fun. Like, I don't think it'll be that good, but it'll definitely be a lot of fun. I just moved to Vegas. This town needs more cowbell for nerds. Vegas actually has the Las Vegas Open, which you can probably find a really good gaming group around there. Whale is not a fish. I'm sorry. That's super cool, though. Maybe it changed since my 7 ones at the time. All I can remember is being shocked at how much coffee was. I honestly don't remember. Like, things weren't too much more expensive than New York. Like, I'm used to New York prices, so it wasn't too expensive. I sent GW a request for you to guest spot on Warhammer Plus Battle Report segment. Your 3 Keepers versus Slayers versus Mortarion was off the chain. I think he meant secrets, but yeah. I would have to swap out the non-official one with an official model, but that's fine because I actually have 6 Keepers of Secrets. You only ever see 3 in battle reports because I can only ever bring 3. But I have Salask, Zarakniel, and all my base 3, plus 1 additional one, which is the new daughter, which I want to do something with. I also want to buy another model to make into a Keeper of Secrets from 40k. Actually, from AOS. Boo. I'm probably going to get into the Cruel Boys Beasts. They look cool, slightly cooler than dragons. Oh yeah, slightly cooler than dragons. Yeah, the new Cruel Boys look insanely cool. Like, okay, as weird as it is, I don't actually like them painted up as orcs. I like them painted up as like pale, like super pale, like rotted pale skin. Like, not like pale flesh like mine where I'm literally transparent, but like actual like pale dead skin, and they look super creepy. Like, I've seen so many zombie conversions with them and they look insanely good. Okay, let's see. Since criminals and gangsters are still a thing in 40k, is there a 40k equivalent to the Mafia? Yes, there is. There's actually an Ogren Mafia, and you can read about this in Blackstone Fortress. There's several Mafias. In fact, hell, if you just read Necromunda, you'll find out a whole bunch about them. I offered input to GW once, but all they said were things were like, "Who are you?" and "call security." That's funny. Hey Alexis, how's it go today? Well, I slept in until like 3. My muscles are still sore, but overall a really good day. Can't complain. Cannot complain. Oh, and if you guys want to be super awesome, look over here. It should be like right over here. If you guys want to use the super chat feature to help support the channel, especially to help cover some moving fees, I would greatly appreciate it, and it would be awesome. It helps support the channel a lot. But I'm going to keep reading comments and keep seeing what we got going. I've never seen anyone with a proper cool Night Lord's army. Sterling had a Night Lord's army for a while. It never got featured on the channel, though, which is a shame. Do you think that GW should outright buy out Creaturecaster for all their demons? They actually are in talks with them. That is a thing that they are talking with them about, as far as I know. Last I heard was a few years ago, though. God damn it, Geeko, you piece of crap. Okay. Let's see. Right there with you, mine are painted as pale green with blue tint. See, that would look really cool, like zombified orcs. They would look so awesome. I'm so sorry. I really, really, really like the idea of zombie orcs. Zomborks. Orkies? No, that doesn't work. Zomborks. We're going with Zomborks. Okay. I'm in the middle of painting Templar Blood Army. Have you seen many split paint schemes in person? I really like how they can look. You gotta wait until you see my Thousand Sun Army. One half of them is blue, the other half of them is red. So will you be doing more stuff with lore? Yes, I have a video coming out tomorrow with lore. I wanna do Zorks. Oh, we could just call them Zorks. That's a good name. Then they could be part of Zorks and Pals. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing more lore. I like it. So the Mafia is still a thing in 40k. Cool. Yes. Yeah, it's all over the place. Even AdMech have Mafias. God damn it, Geeko. So if I wanted to beg GW for Inquisition Kill Team rules, what would be the best way to do it? Probably just messaging them on their Facebook and Twitter pages. Zomborks. I don't know if I like Zorks or Zomborks better. I swear to God, Geeko. I swear to God. Stop it. Stop it. I will block you. Since Nurgle has the power to make living things into zombies, can Nurgle make zombies into special infected that are different from the base zombies? I'd assume so. So, like, it really depends on what Nurgle is feeling at the time. Like, in AOS, he might be able to do that. In 40k, he's a bit too concerned with the Emperor coming after him and Tzeentch trying to destroy him. What faction would you like to be? Would you like to be smashed and fused together? I'd like more factions talked about and explored. But yeah, no. I don't know how to answer that one. This sounds like a great D&D campaign, zombie orc apocalypse, right? Oh yeah, do you plan on doing reactions to the final available Hammer and Bolter episode, Death's Hand? Yes, I do. I've just been really busy with the move today. I just emptied out my dresser, and I got to get that out of my house, so I've just been really busy today. I plan on doing a reaction to that, too. And so far, my videos aren't hit, and GW seems to be chill with what I've been doing. I still have to send them a message about it and wait like the 3 weeks for them to reply. But overall, it's pretty good. And I can't wait to see the Thousand Suns played against someone with heavy Icelandic accent. Yes, yes, it'll be awesome. I think Mortarion is stuck in the garden. Yes, he is. He's actually in like crybaby jail right now because Nurgle is mad at him. What do you think of Battle Sector, the released PC game? And what is your favorite GW video game? Well, Games Workshop has never released a video game. Okay, let's put that out there. Games Workshop has never released a video game. They have given their license to other businesses to release video games, but I'm assuming you meant with their IP. And if that's the case, it would probably have to be Dawn of War, Soulstorm, Ultimate Apocalypse, because I really enjoy it. It's ironic, in 40k Nurgle is where zombies come from. In AOS he doesn't seem to like undead in general. Their non-life offends him. Yeah, and this is one of the biggest things that I like about the two different universes. And I hate the fact that they're connected. I really hate the fact that they're connected. I much prefer them as two separate, entirely different games with different lore altogether. Because Nurgle in 40k is jolly and disgusting and focused on just bringing people alive and keeping them alive and everything, versus Nurgle in AOS, who's still jolly, still does jokes, but is more accustomed to being the god of rot and does not like the undead. What is your favorite Inquisitor Martyr class? God, I can't remember. They all are the same, which kind of suck. The game was kind of terrible. Like, I really enjoyed it for what it was, but the game was kind of terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Let me check something. Sorry, I just noticed the Dark Tide might have more zombies. Yes. The gun in your hand is almost moved away. I don't know what you mean. Hey, quick question. What do you think of the Imperial Fish Strat clearance protocol with frag grenades and the blast rule? Can you give me the rule verbatim? I would need that before I can talk about it. Will there be any Blood Bowl games being played for the channel? Hopefully. Alexis' new battle reports are going to be like Mighty Ducks 2. I don't know what you mean. Wasn't Victor going to move to the States? Yes, until his visa got canceled by our former that was in charge of this country. GW will grant you a game license if you send them 5 cereal box tops. I can believe that, honestly. I can definitely believe that. Last time I played in a GW store, the manager was annoyed at me for having candles on my sister's back that weren't part of GW's GW parts. It was material. Then report the manager. Like, report the manager. Done. We had an argument in French. It'd be even funnier if you guys weren't French. Like, if you were just, like, in the deep south of America. Like, you're in Tampa, Florida, in, like, the redneck community part of it, just screaming at each other in French. Well, swinging alligators because you're alligator, because it's Florida. What would be cool to see GW pull a story event where they break the Chaos Gods as a multiversal form of retconning? They don't need to retcon them. The God Emperor can actually kill the Chaos Gods. Like, Godblight made that very apparent. It was in France. Oh, that's a shame. If someone made a live action or cartoon movie for the Sisters of Battle, would you watch it? Yes. That's a no-brainer. But yeah. No, let's... You know what the weirdest thing is? I have to get a giant box to move this. And this is crazy. Like, how big a box I need to move this blows my mind. Hang on, still grabbing it. This thing needs a huge box to move. And the shoulders are detachable. Said they're detachable, there we go. And the backpack is detachable, but it still takes forever to get this thing packed up and everything. And it takes my entire trunk to transport this thing. It also weighs a ton. So, like, I need to get that packed up and everything and ready to go. But yeah. Let's see, what do we got? So you're moving in as a resident, as a recent decision makes sense. Moving to Arizona was very counterproductive. The reason I moved to Arizona was as a rush. I had a really bad stalker incident in New York, and I needed to get out as quickly as possible. Just wear it on the plane. That's not a bad idea, actually. It's actually a good idea. Also, thank you for the super chat. You're awesome and I love you. But yeah, you can actually wear a cosplay on a plane, including full armor. Like, that is a thing you can do so long as you can fit in your seat. Yeah, that's going to be the easiest fit under your flight seat. Yeah, so that is going to need a massive box, and it's going to probably wait to be shipped until, like, next year. So it's going to be a huge problem. Also, there's my bolt gun, which is massive. So it's like, like, a lot of these things are just really hard to ship. So Warhammer TV has uploaded 2 episodes of Richard Boylan's Blood Angel series. It's dope. But why is it so hard to find a release schedule? That's mostly to do with COVID. Like, it really is. Like, getting people working and everything up in Europe is very difficult right now. Getting production teams together and everything is going to be very, very difficult. And I would just give them a little bit of time to get things situated. Like, I bought into it knowing that for the first year, it's not going to be good. But they're also releasing a really dope model for it. So I don't care, because at the end of the year, when I get that damn assassin, I could probably sell it pro-painted for like $250, which will be used to buy like my next 4 years of subscription to Warhammer TV. And I'll just keep doing that with all the models they give out. Can't bring the bolt gun on the plane. No, I can't. Actually, since it's Arizona, I can, which is stupid. But no, normally I can't fly with a bolt gun. Considering High Gothic is Latin and Low Gothic is English, that's wrong. Do you think other human languages still exist? Okay, so High Gothic is more like all of the crazier languages thrown into one, and Low Gothic is the more common languages of the time thrown into one. This includes French, German, Italian, English, and everything that just sounds cool. They squish into one word, and that's what Gothic is. Think of it kind of like English, like as how English formed itself is how High Gothic formed itself in the future. Also, thank you for being a member. I forgot that was a thing. Can you stand up so I can get a full view? No. Why would I do that? That's weird. You're weird. Uh-oh. Did the stream crash? Or did it just have problems loading? I don't know. Don't know. Are your Patreon videos just hobby updates and white dwarfs? For the most part, yes. I do want to do more. What happened to the quality of my videos? Like, did this just get really bad, or was that just me? Okay, is that just on my side? I can't tell right now. Okay, let's see. I want to do more with my White Dwarf videos. It's just I don't have time right now with my job, with this, and with doing hobby stuff in between. I do want to do more and throw it up on my Patreon, but I do want to do mostly hobby videos. I used to use it as a completely separate thing for my lingerie photo shoots when I was a professional model. Let's see. Why are sisters too hot for me? I don't know. They're not really real, so I don't know how to answer that. Let's see. Seems fine on this side. Quality seems normal. Okay, so I don't really know what's going on my side. I apologize. So basically, the Imperium, whether speaking High or Low Gothic is just speaking a language that's a mashup of all of the languages that are treating them as high and low in real life. Yes, it would be like somebody speaking proper English and the way I speak English. The way I speak English would be like Low Gothic versus somebody who speaks prim and proper, without slurring, without like leaning into words, without moving their hands and everything. And now you just have to, okay. Are you worried at all about continuing doing content with GW content striking creators? So, okay, let's talk about that real quick, because that hit, what's his name? That one channel I never watch. By the way, this isn't just a jab at that one channel. I don't watch 40K channels that often, except for battle reports. I really like battle reports. But it was an automated bot that just said a manual review was done. Honestly, I think the guy was lying for clout. I'm gonna be real, because it struck him down most likely based on the music or most likely based on 40K's IP. Midwinter Minis is not a sponsored company, is not a sponsored channel by Games Workshop, so they don't have rights to use Games Workshop's property. Games Workshop did take it down though. Not Games Workshop taking down their video, but an automated bot made by Games Workshop, made by YouTube, took it down their video. Actually didn't take it down, just gave it a redirect for funds because he was using stolen IP, which is perfectly fine. This happens to YouTubers all the time. Just look at anyone trying to stream Nintendo content. They did do a review and they did contest it with Games Workshop. Games Workshop removed it and they kept going. But it was just a bot. Like, I get those from time to time. You just click one button and like an hour later they go away. Like, no reason to like cry about it, to be honest. Like, I know a lot of these channels right now are trying to do clout videos, which are really popular, but honestly, it's whatever. You won't see this from the channels that are sponsored. Okay. I do feel bad for him, but he also made a video right after it that got 62,000 views that was bashing GW. So, yeah. Weird people asking for feet. That's always something that happens. No worries. How long do we have to wait to keep... I don't know how long it takes for their stuff to come out. I do apologize. Similar to how the 13th century English and higher... Yes, sure. Okay, Alexis, word bearer, Primarchs gets to talk to the Emperor now. How would that go down? He'd probably just tell him, like... Okay, so are we talking pre-fall or after fall, and what time period? I would need to know. Okay. Okay, last thing we need a Night Lord's Codex or World Eaters Codex for 9th edition. Night Lords are not popular enough to afford their own codex, but World Eaters and Emperor's Children or Creations of Bile would be really cool. Those Warhammer channels remind me of news, psychos, rumors with no legs, and they're all trying to run with it because they get clicks. Yeah, you're right. No, like a lot of those videos, a lot of those channels are doing that now, and it's kind of getting me, it's kind of annoying me. Like, those kind of channels are making me want to pull out of 40K because the viewer base is getting more and more ferocious. Like, it's not Games Workshop that's getting me out of the hobby. It's literally the other YouTubers that are driving people more and more rampant, and it almost makes me want to leave this community. I'm not going to. I'm going to stick around. I just wish those channels would understand that this is happening. But they won't. Could Godzilla survive in the 40K universe? Easily. Could anything survive in the 40K universe? The answer is yes. Like, there's a million worlds in the 40K universe that the Imperium just controls. There's probably close to like 300 million in the entirety of the 40K universe. On any one of those worlds, anything can survive. Like, now, if you're talking a straight-up fight, Godzilla would probably end almost anything that it goes up against. Like, except for, well, depending on the Godzilla, of course, but an Imperator or Titan would get stepped on by Godzilla. Like, it would hurt him. It would definitely blow a hole through him. But Godzilla has been known to be fully impaled and keep going. Godzilla has point-blanked an asteroid and the size of France and kept going. Like, no. Okay, let's get back to this. I'm new to all the books. Are there any good 40K horror style books? There's actually an entire section of horror on Black Library. You might want to check it out. Is Logar even out and about in the 40K setting at the moment? Not that I'm aware of. I would love to... I don't know what you mean. Talking time periods now. Basically, Logar is like, so you are God now, and like, I don't know what you're talking about. I do apologize. You can probably find what you want on... please don't post about me on 4chan. I can't stand those little morons. They're disgusting. GW isn't handling it well either. They're actually handling it just fine, and they're treating their employees great, and they're treating their staff great, and they're treating their content creators average. Like, the fact that they're not responding to these things is a good thing. You don't want them to just flat out be like, no, you can't do it. Instead, they made intentionally vague rules that everyone can get away with. Okay. I haven't been into 40k as much lately since I'm waiting on the Tau update. I've been spending the rest of my time playing Flash and Blood. Never played it. I survived the 40k universe, and I just have to be a named character. True. People have forgotten that 40k is literally just a game. It's also satire on a game. It's literally meant as a joke. And yeah, like a lot of people forget that. Please don't leave. You're like one of the good YouTubers. Thank you. That actually means a lot. Godzilla earned those first 3 letters. Lols. Yeah. So one of the things that I love seeing is who would win in a fight, Godzilla or Cthulhu? And everyone's like, oh, Cthulhu is like this god of madness and everything, and he's like gigantic, without people realizing that Cthulhu was beaten by a sailboat that crashed into his head and is in fact incredibly weak. Just saying. Cthulhu would actually last a lot shorter in the 40k universe than Godzilla. Like, Cthulhu would last until an Inquisitor found him, and the Inquisitor just captured him. What chapter do you suggest? What chapter do you suggest a successor chapter? For what? I am confused by that. I apologize. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and ban this guy, because this is getting a little weird. Because that is weird. This guy's getting weird. I own almost every Godzilla film library, and yeah, you're right. Yeah, Godzilla would be perfectly fine. In fact, they'd probably just leave the planet and just let Godzilla do Godzilla things. Oh, excuse me. Holding a boombox under GW's window wasn't enough to get the models I want. You have to do it during the rain. Let's see. What are your personal beliefs on Alpharius? He's dead. Do you think there's actually a good, or they went to chaos? They are fully corrupted. There are Alpha Legionnaires that are good on the side of the Imperium, but there's more or less the entire chapter, the entire Legion is corrupted by chaos, except for a select few. Alpharius did die to Dorn, and the entire Legion felt the psychic backlash of him dying. Omegon was killed by Guilliman, but Guilliman questioned whether or not he killed Omegon. And at the end of one of the Alpharius books, a dude puts on the helmet basically stating that there is always a leader to the Alpha Legion, and it doesn't matter who it is because we are all Alpharius, and he puts on the helmet, and it's like, haha, see? It's more or less a nod at we are Spartacus. Okay. I think if anyone here was on Terra for like a day, they would have a panic attack. Yes. Yes, they would. So does is making Fallout videos now. Awesome. I love Fallout. Legion of the Damned Codex and any 30k players here. Legion of the Damned Codex would be super nice, but it would just be a White Dwarf article that just gives them a chapter tactic, some relics, and stratagems. And that would be how they're played. Like, their whole army would have a 4-up invo save, they would cost more, and actually that would probably be their only tactic, and they could deep strike. Also, thank you for the donation, you're awesome and I love you. Hi Queen, I want to have my knights all different colors and patterns, but when I play them, I don't want to make them all free blades. Suggestions? Yeah, say that they're all flying a banner of a different, they all painted different but come together for one common goal, and that's their new household tradition. There you go. And that way you can run them as one household using multiple different colored knights. Kind of think of it like Deathwatch for Imperial Knights. There, I even gave you lore for it. What type of kaijus exist in 40k? Tyranids, mostly. But there are other giant creatures. There's actually gigantic whales filled with gas that fly over certain worlds. And what they do is their secretions actually is used as manure across the entire planet, and it's an agri-world. It's in one of the Rogue Trader books. It's absolutely beautiful. They're a protected species too. There's other giant creatures too. There's the megarachnids, who are giants. There are several different species. I cannot think of their names right now, but there are giant creatures. Oh, the Necromundan spiders. They're giants. The Necromunda kraken is another giant creature. It's a massive tentacled creature that spins its arms through the hive and grabs people and eats them. I love Necromunda. We need to play more Necromunda on the channel. I was wondering if the Alpha Legion was doing a long con or not, but that makes sense. Thanks for the answer. Personally, I think it's broken down by different war bands have different goals now. And as a Legion, they are not fully connected anymore. But as war bands, they have differing goals. So yeah. The Emperor almost died to Dracnian and a big orc. The big orc thing never actually killed the Emperor. That was simply an avatar of the Emperor, as the Emperor was stated to only have left the Golden Throne twice in his entire existence, within 30k. So the avatar that he was crushing was more than likely just an incarnation of the Emperor. Also, in the context of that story, it was more or less Horus was being tested, because the Emperor probably could have obliterated that orc at any moment. Void Whales are also a thing. Void Whales are much bigger. I've read a fan theory that says that the lost Primarchs were sacrificed to start the Golden Throne. That isn't true. The second Primarch, more than likely, is Uthu on Terra. And the 13th or 11th Primarch, I cannot remember which one it is, was killed by Leman Russ for mutations. We do know that they were brothers. So, unfortunately, no women Primarchs. But we do know that the Emperor had daughters, the Living Saints. And you can find this out in the book Celestine, when Celestine just casually mentions she used to live as a child on Terra beneath her father, the Emperor. Now, that could mean multiple things, but I personally think the author meant that they were that was her actual father. Which was then later explored, kind of. In the audio drama Our Martyred Lady, Katarina Greyfax stated that she used to hunt the sensei down until she met Celestine, implying that Celestine is a sensei or a child of the Emperor. Thank you, 11th Primarch. The Catachan devil is pretty huge. I wouldn't say it's a kaiju though. It's just big. The Archaeosaurus Titan had 8 legs, and it was the dinosaur thing. Yeah, no, those crazy things like that can exist in 40k, and I really think they need to make an appearance on the the channel, yes, but on the tabletop every now and then. Like, I really think that GW should explore open play as an option, because open play can be for things that have weird-ass rules and weird-ass models. And that could be for where they want you to do conversions, because that would be amazing if they did that. What do you think the true purpose of the structures are in the Tyranid have created in the Tiamat system? I'd have to reread about that. I do apologize. Who did the art for your Teespring shirts? Oh my god, I forgot her name. I honestly forgot. I haven't contacted that artist in years, ever since they screwed me out of doing art. So I was just like, no. Not working together anymore. Hi from Denmark. I am starting a Space Marine 40k Salamander army. What will be good and take? What will be good and not, I think, is what you meant. So good units for Salamanders are going to be good units for Space Marines, Blade Guard veterans, Primaris Marines. If you just stick to Primarchs Marines, you'll have a good force. But if you really want, Devastators with multi-meltas are excellent. Yeah, just take melting guns. Oh God, what are they called? Why am I drawing a blank on what they're called? The Eradicators. Thank you, brain. The Eradicators are extremely good. Snipers, Intercessors, or Assault Bolter Intercessors are excellent choices. I'd love to start Necromunda, but I don't have any color patterns or paints the models in Necromunda. Yeah, it's going to be difficult for me too. You know the secret angel before the Primarchs? I don't know what you mean. Is the Ghoul region of space the scariest part of the Milky Way? No, I'd say the entirety of Sector Obscurus is. Thoughts on the Silent King? I personally believe that he is not real. Like, okay, let me explain this one. The Silent King isn't real. All right? He is just a chronomancer that has duped the Necrons into thinking he's real. Okay, so Necrons are forbidden to go back to certain time periods, and one of them is during the era of the Silent King. They also don't remember the Silent King at all. Like, they know of him, but they don't have any actual obligations to him, nor do they know if he's actually who he says he is. As far as they know, he doesn't actually have command protocols, and according to the Silent King himself, who could be lying, the Silent King got rid of his command protocols. But the other big thing is Necrons don't know how to do that. They don't know how to just shut off certain protocols that they have. They just have them. So it's really weird that the Silent King just appears out of nowhere, is gone for 10,000, was gone for 6 million years, and then suddenly comes back, and now he needs help fighting the Tyranids. I personally think that he kept re-altering history around that time and destabilized everything until everyone got it in his mind that he was the king. And then he abandoned them to fight the Satan and do everything on their own, and ultimately tricked each and every single faction simultaneously by using chronomancy in order to sacrifice all of them into the soul splitter machine thingy that turned them into the Necrons, just so he could live forever and have an entire legion of undead warriors to fight by his side. I personally think the Silent King is a lie. There we go. Just had to fix stuff. What is a good unit for Blood Angels? Assault Intercessors, Vanguard Veterans, Assault Marines, Blade Guard Veterans. I love how so many people are so excited for the potential scale change for Marines. Yeah, I saw that. I don't think people realize that characters in 30K have always been bigger than the miniatures. Like, yeah, that's always been a thing. The scale change isn't going to be a thing. GW is just redoing all of their Marines and their entire line to make them more unique, so it's harder for third parties to create bits for them. This way they can just shut down the third party market. A part of me would want to have more models for Chaos. Yeah, I agree. Chaotic subfactions like Renegade Guard would be really cool. One of the old chapter approved books had rules for big old critters. My friends and I use plastic dinosaurs. Yeah, Necromunda actually has rules for them too. Ripped off by GW. Shocking. No? And a lot of people like saying IP without realizing what the hell they're talking about. Like, Wizards of Oz plot IP ripped off by GW. Shocking. That sentence makes no sense. Inspired by? Correct. Stolen the IP of? They haven't. It's the same with a lot of the older IPs. Like, How did GW get away with fantasy? Well, they actually bought rights to Tolkien's work. And that's how they made Warhammer Fantasy. How did they make Necromunda? They bought rights to... thank you for subscribing. They bought rights to Judge Dredd. And they got it. Like... Yeah. So being inspired by and ripping off are two totally different things. And making nods to things that you have done is completely... can be completely unique and a very cool nod to other businesses. Like Colonial Marines and 40k Astra Militarum. They fight very similarly, but the other ones are way better equipped. The Astra Militarum is not as equipped. Icelandic plastic IP. Let's see. Could the Emperor fight Thanos with the stones or not? No. What? No. Like, Thanos would just stop time. The Emperor is a fourth dimensional being and technically can go to where Thanos goes, but... I mean, he couldn't match the Power Stone, he couldn't match the Soul Stone, and he couldn't match... Actually, those are going to be the two that get him. But if the Emperor can get into his mind, then maybe. But then he could just use the Mind Stone to get the Emperor out of his mind. So yeah, maybe. Depends. 6 million, was it 60 million, right? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have a favorite silly lore trivia for 40k? Yes. Okay. 4th edition Orc Codex has the best lore in all of 40k, hands down. I don't want to hear any arguments. It's where Tuska the Demon Killer came from. It's where the orc that went back in time and killed himself came from. And it's where my favorite rule ever came from. A war boss cannot take both a mega armor and a war bike, as he would fall over a lot. That's the rule verbatim, and it's my favorite thing ever. It makes me so happy. I love it. Your thoughts on Duncan Road's new paint products? I'm gonna try them. I actually did just get a sponsorship from them, so I do need to contact them. I just haven't yet. Whoop, there we go. That sounds very tinfoil hat of you. Yeah, probably. So we can see beyond our Milky Way galaxy with our low tech. How come civilizations in 40k can look beyond the Milky Way galaxy to see if there are more NIDs? Okay, so that technology probably hasn't been discovered. And a lot of technology in 40k is equivalent to today's technology. Yeah. Let's see. And same with the events of Event Horizon, where it seems to have some inspiration, but not directly part of the Warhammer's lore. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the donation. You're awesome and I love you. Hi, I'm wondering which sororitas model I can use for training painting for the first time. You could buy one of the characters. I would actually suggest the Dialogus, as they're not very useful, and if you mess up, you don't have to worry too much. Or the Dogmata. She's a very simplistic model to paint, as it's mostly just robes and a little bit of black armor. So I'd highly recommend the Dogmata or the Hospitaller or the Dialogus. Those are the three that I would definitely tell you to practice on. They probably changed the Horus Heresy story anyway. I don't know what you mean by that. They haven't... Well, actually they have quite a bit changed the story. I missed some stuff. I tuned out for Godzilla talk and now Thanos. Drakneon, can kill the Emperor, but maybe... Not now. No. Okay, so Drakneon did hurt the Emperor, and it took the Emperor off guard. But Drakneon was force possessed into a custodian by the Emperor himself, and then that custodian was killed and taken over, and then the sword, it was bound to a sword, which became Draconian, this demon sword, which was wielded by Abaddon during the 11th or 12th Black Crusade. So yeah. But if he's a fourth dimensional being, the stones which are unrealm couldn't work on him. So, okay, yes they can. If the Emperor is in that dimension at the time. So if the Emperor dragged Thanos into the warp, the stones would not work, kind of. Okay, so the reason that I say kind of, in the warp, thought would become a reality. So he would still think that he's using the stones. They would just be way significantly less powered than they were normally. So that's the thing. But the Emperor could just strip him away and probably just cut his arm off. Like, the Emperor would best Thanos in close combat. Like, that's where his strength is. Okay, I vaguely remember that in 4th edition, Orc War Boss rules. Yep. If it's Duncan, so the paints will likely be at least decent if he's willing to put his name on it. Probably. Or they threw a lot of money at him. When painting orcs, a player needs to scream the proper wah. True. Custodian Kid is futuristic, though? Yes. What do you think of Major Kill? I think he's alright. Not my style of video, but I do find some of the stuff that he says humorous. He just needs to trim the edge a little bit. He's popping all the balloons. Nah, he's good. He's good. Thor versus Reboot Gilliman. Who wins? Thor. God damn, no. Thor wins. Like, that's not even a contest. Thor just crushes him. Thor would crush the Emperor, too. Like, that's not even a contest. I tried to get inside a scoop on GW by walking into Nottingham with a spoon. That's good. That's good. What other animals from Earth are still in 40k besides dogs, cats, horses, rats, and cockroaches? The vast majority of them. Like, it just depends. Like, a lot of them are specialized for different planets now, so they evolved a little bit different. But yeah. Didn't the Emperor clash with Draconian, though? Yes. And the Emperor was weakened by him. And he was cut by him. Or them. Because Draconian is not male or female. It is a them. It's non-binary. Good job, Draconian. I'm proud of you. Could the Sisters of Battle win against the USA or lose? No faction in 40k without using shock and awe or spaceships could beat the US Army. If the US Army was fully mobilized and fully ready on a warfield, nothing would beat them in 40k. Not even Tyranids. And the reason for saying that isn't like, it's just that 40k's battle strategies are just bad. Yeah. Why would Major Kill trim the edge? It got him over 230,000 subs in a few years. Well, good job. I'm proud of him. I think that's meant to be like a shot at me. I don't really care. Like, I like my community. I know a good chunk of my community's names. Like, I would say that I know at least 40% of my community's first names, and I'm on a good basis with them. So I like my community. So yeah. I mean, cool. Thor is literally a god. Yeah. Like, Thor from Marvel or Thor the God would demolish the Emperor. Like, there's no contest. Full-powered Karn versus the Emperor would be crazy. Khorne would lose. Like, flat out, Khorne would lose. Like, Khorne's main battle strategy is he's immune to psychic powers, and he's immune to, and he's really good at close combat. The problem is the Emperor uses soul powers. He doesn't technically channel a lot of energy from the warp, or he has a way of manipulating it so that it is not directly from the warp itself. So they can easily just defeat him. Let's see. In all the 40k, who is the single strongest mortal? Any named character, for the most part. Literally, they can't die. Like, I could say, like, any character's name, and typically they won't die. There are some exceptions, but any character. Like, I'd probably say the strongest mortal would have to be, like, Abaddon. Either Abaddon or Celestine. Well, Celestine's a pariah. She's also a star child, so she doesn't really count. She's not human. Mortal, I'd have to give it to Abaddon. My favorite bit of the weird lore is that marshmallows still exist, mentioned in the first Kai Kane novel. Yep. And I'm guessing America would also kick the Chaos God's butt cheeks. No. Once you start talking interdimensional creatures like the demons, no. No, America would break almost instantly. But against a military-focused, like the Tyranids, which use swarm tactics, we could simply deal with that. Against, like, the Imperium and how they do their older World War II style tactics and their older tank designs, we could easily deal with that. Against, like, the Space Marines, assuming they're not using orbital drops, such as drop pods, we can deal with them. And this is any world's military, by the way. This isn't just America's. It would be the Allied forces versus the Imperium. And aside from using spaceships and drop pods, we would beat them. The second you bring in drop pods, the U.S. military loses. I mean, we could shoot down a couple. Actually, ooh, if we're ready for them, if we know about them, we could probably deal with them. Because we just intercept them. USA would need the rest of the world if they were to go to war. 40k, I mean with Necron weapons. Against the Necrons, they'd be totally fine too. Like, Necron's weapons are slow. Like, the average person can dodge a Necron weapon. Like, a lot of people don't realize just how crappy the weapons are in 40k. They think it's like the be-all, end-all of sci-fi, but it's not even in, like, the top 20 most powerful sci-fis. Like, you have anime to contend with. Like, let's just put that on that list. Like Mech Warrior demolishes 40k. Like, not even trying. They will demolish them. They have Titans that could kick over Imperators. Like, they're just like, pink, gone. Okay, moving on. Like, the Void Shields are the only thing that would give them a fighting chance. Sigismund almost killed Abaddon's plot armor. Yeah, but he's also lost 2 other fights to him. The first fight was a duel where Sigismund beat him. The second fight was during Saturnine, was it? Or it was one of the Siege of Terror books. And Guilliman beat him as well as one other, but couldn't beat Dorn, so he had to retreat. And then the last one was when they were old. And Abaddon, for some reason, they made Sigismund like a badass in that one, but whatever. The first scene from the Horus Heresy, can't remember her name, Euphrates Keeler. Nuke a big hole and you have a lot of dead bugs. Yep. Exavate, but not sure. Are Tau XV-104 battlesuits agile enough to be considered Gundams or slow enough to be assault battle mechs? The entirety of the Tau is based almost exclusively off of Battletech and its various properties. The Iron Dome would have destroyed drop pods. Yes. When will we get drop pod launchers from whirlwinds? You would need a really big whirlwind for that, and whirlwinds are really inefficient. Like, watch my Everything Wrong With series where we talk about whirlwinds. They're pretty much garbage. Like, even Space Marines refer to them as garbage. That's how bad they are. Halo's Forerunners and maybe the Coven would be able to kick plenty of 40k arses. Yeah, for the most part. But once they start getting into space battles, and once they start getting into the range of combat that 40k is more comfortable with, which is close combat, rapid assaults, and hit and run tactics, 40k would overwhelm them. Could the Blood Angel Primarch kill Abaddon? No. God, no. Sanguinius is weak as hell. Like, I don't get this big idea that everyone's like, oh, Sanguinius is like one of the best melee Primarchs. He loses almost every fight. Like, he kind of sucks. What was Killer's exactly then? She was a living saint. A Psyker? No, she was a saint. A saint is different than a Psyker. They can channel warp energies without being connected to the warp itself. They can also channel energies that are directly from the Emperor's domain, as far as I know. So it's more of a purified version of the warp itself, more like the Realm of Souls ability that the Eldar try to use. Did you stop the Everything Wrong With series? It's on hiatus right now. Yeah, so explaining saints is one of the crazier things in 40k, because in the Ethereal Stern novel, when she was severed from the warp completely, she still managed to go Super Saiyan. Like, she just flat out just powered back up and went gold again, and everyone was just like, how? And that was like the big plot to her. Sorry. What introduced you to Warhammer? So I had this big friend, and his name was Justin, okay? And I was sitting in class one day. And it was a history class. We had a teacher by the name of Kaiser. I only knew this because I gave him a Kaiser glider, which is a Yu-Gi-Oh card that was extremely rare at the time. Hawkboy beat a Bloodthirster, give him some credit. Base level Inquisitors beat Bloodthirsters. It's about mental strength, not physical. Like, shut up, Sanguinius garbage. I don't care what anybody says. Sanguinius garbage. Sanguinius trash. My boy Lion, best. Somebody's sending me a message on here. Anyway, I was sitting in class one day, and I was sitting there, and I had my book up, and I was reading a book instead of paying attention in class. This was 8th or 9th grade, I can't remember. It was during 4th edition. And I'm reading this, and my friend Justin is like so excited over in the corner, like, yeah, like, this is awesome. And he's looking at the Sister Battle, the Warhammer 4th edition rulebook that he just got. And he's looking at a page that's explaining the Sisters of Battle. And I was like, oh, those are kind of cool. It's got like a Gothic aesthetic. I love the fact that she's wearing a corset. That's awesome. And he's like, yeah, and they use chain swords. And I'm like, what the hell is a chain sword? That doesn't make sense. It would just be a chainsaw. And he's like, no, they wield it like a sword. And I was like, that's dumb. And then he opened it back up, and he's just like, look. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. So I read about them, and I fell in love with the Sisters of Battle. And so I read a couple more books, and then I went to Europe on a class field trip. Yeah, this is a thing. And I went to one of the original Games Workshop stores and bought the Battle from a Crag. And now, that wasn't this was a 4-country trip, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I bought the Battle from a Crag, and I gave the Tyranid half to my friend Keith at the time. Keith would later turn out to be a complete but, it is what it is. We all can't have good friends after high school. It just happens. Your high school friends are going to be garbage after, like, a year after high school. You can find out things that you don't like about them. But there are a few that you keep forever. Anyway, I started playing the game itself because I'm really decent at strategy games. I love me a good strategy game. And I started realizing how to play 4th edition really well, and I started investing more into 40k, collecting and painting, and then it just kind of came to this. So, going back to this. In lore, which chapter should be the next to fall in combat? I don't know what you mean. Primarchs lose to doorways. Yeah. Can you imagine if they... Like, in 40k, one of the easiest ways to escape a pursuer is be smaller than them and just sneak into something that they can't get into. Literally, that's it. I played the Inquisition game, and... Oh, thank you for the donation. I'll read that in just a second. And they brought into lore that Psychers can be completely destroyed... can completely destroy demons. Is this actual lore? Yes, it is. Depending on the type of Psyker. A sanctified demonologist could destroy a demon. They would actually know how to do it. If you were to cosplay IG, what would you tweak the standard kit to make it distinctly yours? And would you keep it canon? Yes. I'd probably just have my long las on me, just on my back, because that's typically what I would want to use. And I'd probably have, like, from my side would be different totems of creatures that I've killed and iconography from them. So that way, like, if I killed an orc boss, like, not a war boss, but like a knob, I would take one of his ruins or whatever off of him and string it to my waist. So I'd have, like, a dangling thing from me that would be, like, all of the trophies from kills that I've gotten. I would definitely probably do Cadian, because I really like the Cadians. But yeah. Can Master Chief and a Space Marine manage to fight each other? I think you mean what would happen if they fought each other, and the Space Marine would win. Space Marine's bigger, faster, stronger, and outweighs Master Chief by almost 1,200 pounds. Like, and the Space Marine's better at melee. Like, their weapons are pretty much the same and used to pretty similar effects. And at first, it would seem like Master Chief has an advantage over maneuverability. But assuming the Marine's armor is spec to match Master Chief, you'd have, like, Phobos armor with the grapple gun, which would keep right up to Master Chief. Or it would be an Assault Marine, and it would just absolutely demolish Master Chief. But if it was to go up against one of the better Spartans, that'd be interesting. Which part of Europe did you visit for your school trip? I can't remember. Master Chief wins, he's a named character. Yeah, but he's a named character in a different universe and in a verse setting. With enhanced strength. Space Marine can lift 10,000 pounds easy. And I think Master Chief can too, which is funny. Could the Tau reverse engineer a Guller field? Yes. Without it being Psychers. And start developing a safer way to... They've actually done all of that. They have that now. Like, that's a thing. What's your favorite religion in 40k? The one that worships the Emperor is a dung beetle. That's a canon part of the lore, by the way. That is 100% canon. And that comes from Greyfax. I find it humorous that in Necromunda, a criminal could hide in the Underhive from a Space Marine due to how cramped and tight some parts of the Underhive can be. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Keeping trophies, definitely Grimdark. Yep. And if they didn't have a trophy, I'd probably, like, cut off their hand or a finger and string it. Can the Chaos Gods actually die or be completely destroyed? So, interesting thing. In 40k, gods don't technically die as much as shatter into thousands of pieces. Okay? And when you form those pieces together, you can reform the god themselves. This happened with the Satan, this happened with the Eldar, and this could happen with the Hive Mind, which is a god according to Godblight. Well, according to some Eldar philosophers, the greater good could be considered a god, and it does have a giant demon for it now. All of these ideas can be shattered into thousands of pieces and destroyed. So yeah. Yes, the Chaos Gods can be killed, but they will eventually reform themselves. Which is what I think 40k is going to turn into. I think the next series in 40k is going to be the Resurrection of Heroes, and then I think it's going to go into God Wars. Okay. Star Wars versus the Emperor. The Emperor from 40k. 40k wins. What new horrors would you like next to see for the Tyranids? Probably like warriors with some type of shield. Not like Hive Guard or anything, but like a warrior shield that gives them a 4-up info or a 5-up info, so they can actually move with sword and board across the battlefield. I think every army should have something like that. Maybe some type of gaunt that is a demolition gaunt, which just runs out and explodes. I think that would be really cool. Like if one hits, it just blows up all of the ones in the unit, and it just deals mortal wounds depending on how many models they're in base contact with. So like if you let a unit of gaunts completely surround a model, it would deal like 5 mortal wounds to it. Probably just max out at 3 to make it fair, but I think it'd still be cool to have detonating gaunts. Who would win, the Betrayer or Abaddon? Abaddon. Like, hands down, Abaddon would absolutely run train on Karn the Betrayer. Just need to be a named character. Yep. Which Chaos God would you fall to? Khorne. Either Khorne or Tzeentch. Actually, that's tough. I'm a pacifist, so I think I'd fall to Tzeentch. I'm also a druid, so yeah, I'd fall to Tzeentch. I feel like there should be more Chaos versus Tyranid stories. I agree. You get a god. You get a god. Everyone gets a god. Yes. Would be a powerful god. No. I would not be a god in 40k. I would not want to be a hero in 40k. I would like to be a scholar for an inquisitor that lives on a safe world, that all they do is just research books. I would be happy with my job, and I'd probably be paid well and taken care of because I work for the Inquisition. Okay, I will be right back really quickly. Just have to run to the bathroom. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Alrighty. Let's see. The questions do we have? I got these like little tiny hairs and you can't see them, but all they do is stab me. And it drives me absolutely crazy. Like, they stab me everywhere. Which chaos god would Megatron fall to? Probably Khorne. Like, Khorne is the easiest one to fall to. Like, let's be real. Hammer and Bolter, we saw the book changing from numbers to faces and back. Could that be seen by everyone, or is it just the corrupted person? Just a corrupted person. I would want to be a farmer on some world that was still stuck in the Middle Ages, right? Right? That'd be awesome. Does pineapple go on pizza? Look, you need to see a therapist. If you need a hug, I'm here. I will give you a hug. But don't put that heresy on that pizza. Or I'll come for you. I'm sorry. What is the most easiest god to fall to? Nurgle. Nurgle, without a doubt. God, these stupid little hairs are driving me nuts. And the reason for that is Nurgle is the one that's actively listening. Slaanesh is the one that's least paying attention to the mortal realm. Tzeentch is always just trying to scheme around, but typically doesn't listen to too many people. There we go. And Nurgle's the one that's just actively there. Khorne is the one that just wants rage. Like, just show him a good time. All of these people falling to gods. Meanwhile, I'm falling down the stairs. Is there a story that has a Genestealer cult and a Chaos cult on the same planet? Technically Necromunda. I want to be a naked custodian in the Emperor's room. I mean, if you go by Rogue Trader, you could be, but that was prior to, like, the entombment. And it was weird. It was a weird time. Rogue Trader is weird. I want to do a whole book review of Rogue Trader just for the lulz. I could be like a 7-hour, like, video. Okay, and I got somebody sending me a distraction email. Pineapple goes in the trash in general. No, it goes to your boyfriend. Or your significant other who happens to have something down there. Just saying. Just saying. If you get that joke, you're actually terrible. Just letting you know. You might actually be a terrible individual. How many of you are terrible? I guarantee it's at least 5. Guarantee it. 5 people got my terrible joke. Some chapters refer to their chaplains as druids. You're talking about the Emperor's spears. They're the only ones that do. What do you think of the book where Genestealer cults pretended to be a chaos cult to lure people in? That would be really weird. Wouldn't be the weirdest thing I've read with Genestealer cult. It would definitely be weird, though. Without a doubt. Aggressively Googles one of those good. Ah, there it is. Somebody got the joke. What's your main army? I'm terrible. There it is. There it is. Yay! So many people got my terrible joke. What is your main army? Sisters of Battle and Tyranids. I love them, like, so much. Counts it as terrible. Pineapple said to make certain things taste better. Oh, I love this. Are some of the monuments on Earth, like the Great Wall of China, the Pyramid, Stonehenge, etc., still existing in 40K? Possibly. If Terra has no more oceans, how can they have oxygen and breathe? The water cycles would be broken and there would be trees to produce O2. So, gods, do I hate the way 40K tries to explain this one. Logically, you are 100% correct. You are right on it. Correct. In 40K's Master of Mankind book, they talk about how there is a secret ocean underneath the planet. Which is dumb, by the way. It's really dumb. Does Chaos have factories set up in the warp to produce more munitions or things that they need? Yes. So this is controlled usually by the Dark Mechanicus, but in Legion Wars and in Talon of Horus, we actually get to hear more about this. So, yeah. The Dark Mechanicum actually still makes all of the munitions and everything for most chapters, and, well, most legions. And most legions and warbands actually make their own equipment, because they still have all the forges working on their ships. But if they need something else, they can get it from the Dark Mechanicus and sent aboard their ships. They just have to pay a fee, because there is nothing free in 40K. There's actually currencies. Watch out for that spider on your wall. What? Wait, is there a spider? I don't see a spider. I mean, if there's a spider, I just want to house it and make sure it's safe. If you could design the new starter box, what 2 armies would you pick for them? Okay, if I could pick the new starter box, if I could do the new starter box, what armies would I pick? Well, a new starter box for 30K would probably be the Siege of Terra series, and I would do the Sons of Dorn versus the Emperor's Children. And I'd probably just put new units in it. But for 40K, oh God, what would I do? What would I do for 40K? It'd probably be new Tau versus new Guard. Like, that would be the box that I'd want to buy. Wait, was there an actual spider? I'm curious now, because if there was an actual spider, I'm not scared of it, because it's a spider. But at the same time, I just want to make sure it's safe. Citizens Islands need new models. Agreed. How much knowledge of the Age of Terror does the Blood Ravens know about? Not much. I don't really... Oh, apologies. But I'm not really into the Total War games, but I know a lot of people are excited for them, so I hope the new one is good. Took me way too long to get the pineapple joke. Can you cook it and eat it? No. I didn't see a spider. Okay. Okay, there wasn't a spider. Don't do that. Can you talk about the religious significance of the Sororitas Rhino and other vehicles or weapons? Yeah, so all of their weapons are considered holy, which is really weird considering they don't like the Mechanicus. And all of their war gear and everything is built by the Mechanicus and then paid for by the Ecclesiarchy, or it's paid in exchange for doing a crusade in certain areas so the Mechanicus can get certain pieces of lost technology. But everything to the sisters is sacred because it's built for them specifically. Like, their suit of armor would not fit another Sister of Battle, unlike a Space Marine suit of armor, which would fit just any other Space Marine. A sister's suit only fits her. So it is very significant to her. Her bolt gun has a custom grip strictly for her. So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of significance to those types of things. Also, it's given to them by the church. So, yeah. They do technically have to buy it too. And the zealotry nature means that anything that they think is sacred typically is sacred. So there's that. There is that. Oh, by the way, again, if you want to support the channel over here, click the subscribe button, click that bell button. Otherwise, YouTube doesn't tell you that I have a video, which is really dumb. And if you want to support the channel, you can use the super chat feature. Still waiting for a Reboot Gilliman versus Abaddon fight. Yeah, like, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't meet, but Abaddon demolished Marinus Kalgar. Yeah. Have you considered returning to modeling, whether it is cosplay, lingerie, or whatever? I have. I have thought about it quite a bit. I've been trying to lose a little weight so I can do it. It's just, I want to lose a little bit more and get back my six-pack so I can do modeling again. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun doing it, but there's a lot of pressure in the modeling industry to do a certain type of modeling. Let's just call it and it's not it's something else. But there's a lot of pressure to do corn, and I am not all about that. I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to do that, and I like my content being family friendly. Like, it's PG-13, but still family friendly in a way. Let's see. What do you think of the new characters from the Ultramarine Phil? You almost got me. You almost got me. You almost got me. That was good. I'm not even mad at that. That was fantastic. Oh my god, you almost got me. Because I go on autopilot and read these things. Oh my god, you almost got me so bad. I like your vids. Please keep making more of them. Oh, thank you. Abaddon killing another Primarch could happen. Let's see. What Primarch will return next? Lion. This is why I prefer 30k over 40k to religious. I think you need to read 30k novels. They're filled with religious themes throughout all of them. Like, the whole thing is based off of religion. Also, you have Euphrates Keeler and Garrow's story throughout it. And all the time travel. And the fact that the Imperium knows about the religion and just allows it. Come on. Yeah. Thank you. How often does Abaddon fight other Chaos warbands? Not very much. I wish it would be more, but it's usually in like small blurbs that we hear about that. Who'd win in a fight between the demons of hell, both in the Bible and from Doom? Well, there's no demons in the Bible. Like, that's not a thing. Like, I'm guessing you're talking about like Christianic mythology. There's no demons in the Bible. Christianic mythology doesn't believe in hell, and it's actually annihilationism. So from Doom and Dante's Inferno, on the other hand, versus the demons from the Warp, the demons of the Warp walk all over him. Who's your favorite Black Library authors? Graham McNeil, Aaron Densky Bowden, and Andy Clark. Those are my three favorites. No particular order to them, though Aaron is more at the top than all the others. Yeah, no, OF is perfectly fine. They've redacted that statement. Flight of the Eisenstein was a great book. Yes, it was. It actually made me read most of the other 30k books, because most of them are just skippable. It's kind of, okay, let me describe the Horus Heresy series in a nutshell, okay? Here it is. This is all of Horus Heresy. It's split into like 6 seasons, and each one of them gets progressively more boring than the last, okay? So you have your first 3 episodes, your first like season, if you will, okay? You can skip literally all of the rest of it and go straight to Siege of Terra, because most of it is just not important. I hate to say it, but most of it is just garbage. And my favorite part of it is the greatest description I've ever made for the 30k book series the Horus Heresy book series is that it's essentially Inuyasha. Watch the first 3 episodes, get the gist of the story, and then skip all the way to final act. You'll like it better. Gotta read the Night Lords trilogy myself because I heard it's great. It is good. My favorite 30K novels have to be The First Heretic. That one's pretty good, as it shows the part of the chaos religion and how the Legion can fall to chaos. Yes, it does. Have you heard from Warhammer Plus program manager? No, I haven't, not yet. They'd be very smart to field pitch from people like you. See, my content isn't something that could be used on like Warhammer Plus because it's all mostly improv. So, most of it is just kind of non-scripted, and I just kind of free flow everything. But yeah, if they gave me a show on there, I would love it. I would absolutely agree to it. Also, since you said that there were no demons in Christianity, what's Oblivion? That's a topic for a whole nother time. I'm not getting into why Christian mythology is silly. Not going into that. Dante's Inferno is basically self-insertion Bible fiction. No, it isn't. It had nothing to do with the Bible. It had more to do with Hades than anything else. The Christians just stole it like they did everything else. Okay. If you had a show on Warhammer Plus, what would it be? Oh, God, I have no idea what I would do. Like, I can't do good scripts. It'd probably just be like playing video games. Like, to be honest, it would just be video games. Or something else. Like, my God, I'd have to actually think about that. I would love to bring my Everything Wrong With series to it, because that could be a lot of fun. Oh, that could be a lot of fun. Or just talk about random things in 40K's lore, like Character of the Week, and just do them as short videos. Do you think Eldar comes back to power? No. The Divine Comedy was just cringy self-insertion, though. You've clearly never read it. Oh, man. No, I love Dante's Inferno. It's one of my favorite books of all time. Horus Heresy was doing filler arcs when they were waiting for the manga to catch up. True. No, it's 100% true. What should I have for dinner? How do women have babies in such terrible conditions? What? I'm not in terrible conditions, nor do I want a child yet. I want to wait until I'm with Victor to have a kid. It's going to be one of the... After about a year of living together, that's going to be something we start talking about, is having a kid. I pretty much decided my kid's name, too. Like, when I'm ready to have one. And make some story of the journey of a battle sister from novice to canoness. You should read Requiem Inferno. It's pretty much that. Or Roads and Mark of Faith. What would your weapon of choice be if you were a Dark Eldar? Probably a Dark Lance. Do you enjoy the Warhammer fantasy setting / AOS? AOS, yes. Fantasy, no. Are there any human factions that split and do research and development without getting caught? Yeah, they're part of the Mechanicus. What ancient societies would you base a new Xenos army on? God, I'd probably do Demiurge or Corellian from the lore and just bring them into the models, but I wouldn't base them on anything in particular. What would your reaction be? What would your reaction when Reboot was coming back? I got into 40K around... Oh, I just thought it was really cool and it was about time. The new Horus Heresy books might make Horus 10 times stronger than he was. It's not yet been confirmed. That's because they're not doing Horus Heresy books anymore. They're doing Siege of Terra books. The Horus Heresy ended. Do you think the squats would create problems with the Adeptus Mechanicus if they were still prominent in the Imperium? Yes. To find out more, read... I'm not going to read that out loud. But yeah. Boop. But yeah. I'm looking forward to this move coming up. Like, I so am. I can't wait to be in my new place with Vector, being in Iceland, enjoying a country that knows how to take care of its citizens. Will be amazing. I'm still going to come back and forth to visiting the States and visiting Europe because it's nice and right in the middle. So it's going to take like 12 hours to fly here, but I think it'll be great. I felt betrayed when Reboot... okay, you're trying to make fun of his name. When Reboot Gilliman was in fact not a robot gorilla. Yeah. That's an old joke. I still like Dat Booty Killaman. That's still my favorite. Or Robot Killacan. What do you think the 40K universe would be like if no Legion fell to chaos? Like it was during the Great Crusade. Like, I just read the first like Horus Heresy book before they fell to chaos. It would be that. It would just be boring as hell. Will Call ever mass-produce Terminator armor? Probably not, as Terminator armor is inefficient for Marines, and the Imperium knows that. I hope Custodians get new models when they will... Bleh. I hope Custodians get new models. My first army. So I think you mean they were my first army. Yeah. No, I think they should get new models. I want Sisters of Silence to get new models. Dante killed Abaddon by falling into the Black Rage and believed that he was Sanguinius and Abaddon and Horus. Thus, the sons of finished the battle for their father. That would be kind of cool. Do you think the Firstborn Marines can operate Primarchs vehicles? Yes. Do you think they need booster seats? Oh my god, that would be funny as hell. That would be great. If GW offered you a modeling opportunity to be a mini, what would you take? Would you take the offer? Yes, in a heartbeat. That's an easy one. Did you watch the final of Rick and Morty? I've never watched an episode of Rick and Morty in my entire life. It does not look like my type of humor. Do you have a favorite comedic moment in 40K? Yes, the Orks. All of it. Literally everything about the Orks. Also, hope you enjoy Iceland. I would love to visit there. I think it's a beautiful country. It is. It so is. Oh, awesome. We just got a new subscriber. But yeah, I am super excited for Iceland. Like, it's going to be great. I'm going to have a good friend there. I am excited. I am excited. Brother, get the booster seat. The big booster seat. The heavy booster seat. You must be this tall to commit to Crusade. Can't wait for that. Although I do wish GW just kind of pulled the plug on the old Tactical Marines and just killed them off. But that's just me. I know that a lot of fanboys would have cried, and a lot of people who don't even play the game would have cried. But I kind of like what they did. I like how Firstborn are still there and still usable. But yeah. No, there's a lot coming up that I'm excited about. Waiting for a Marine chapter whose gene flaw is that they are abnormally small in height. That would be hilarious. If there was a 40k creator you could collab play against, who would it be? Probably Phil, the Glacial Geek, Winters. Yeah, those two. Those two are a lot of fun. I'd love to play games with them. Wait, what? Got a secondhand Underhive book from a gay bookstore in my town. It's signed by Mike Brooks, so yay. Wait, why is it being a gay bookstop? Why did you add that? Did you mean game? I want to know. That'd be funny. Are there any background events that you want explored after Octarius? Probably what's happening with Armageddon, or whatever happened to the crusade that went towards oh my god, what is it? Cadia. Like the Cadian crusade to reconquer those planets, because that's talked about in Cadian Honor. And I really want to know like where that story is going. Do you think GW would accept invisible orcs are purple? That's why you can't see them as canon? Honestly, yes. What do you think of the conspiracy theory that Fulgrim and Ferrus Manus are actually alive, living happy lives together, married on some unknown world? I love it. Like, they just put, Fulgrim unlocked his psychic powers and just put an image in everyone's head that he fell to chaos, and that he made everyone think that he killed his brother, and they just left. Because being gay makes it better. Okay, that I can see. That's fair. That is fair. I also was wondering about the gay bookshop, right? It specializes in... I mean, that's kind of hot. Let's be real. Stupid question. If there were enough orcs who knew about the Emperor... there isn't, though. They would just think they're stronger than him. Did you watch The Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device? Watched it since the beginning. Sad that it's ending. Not only did I watch it, I voiced in it a couple of times, but I'm not really a... not really a fan of it. After they tried to make it like their own like weird series thing, and it just got bad. I think you'd do a collab with Midwinter Minis at some point. I don't know anything about their channel. Like, I barely know what the guy looks like. Do I know what the guy looks like? He's got like a gray beard, right? That's him? He does that painting videos and complains a lot. Oh god, who is that? I always forget. Like, a lot of the 40k YouTubers fall into the category of cis white male that I'm not interested in watching at all. Like, they don't talk about makeup, they don't talk about tiny homes, they don't talk about like the actual like gameplay, or they have like overly produced battle reports that I don't really like. So I tend to stay away from those channels. What's a small corner of the 40k hobby you would like to see Hammered and Bolter explore? Probably more with the Inquisition. Like, more subtle Inquisition things would be really nice. God, I have a stupid gnat in my house and it's driving me crazy. Gay bars in 40k would be kind of cool, actually. Like, they'd be really cool. No, I thought for sure he had a white beard. Like, it was like a gray beard that was like this long. Oh my god, who am I thinking about? I know this too. I know these channels. I swear I know them. I watch 40k YouTube sometimes. Let's see. Battle between legions or just my dad could beat up your dad. All of 40k's lore is my dad could beat up your dad. Like, it's literally two 6-year-olds arguing that my dad is stronger, or my superhero can do this. Well, my superhero can shoot lasers out of their eyes. Well, my superhero has a force field that blocks a laser shot from eyes. Which character did you voice in TTS? I voiced Mariel Sabathiel for a little bit. And then they protected a white nationalist and I was done with them. This is filled with weird stereotypes. Right? Right? Like, I only seen, like, I support a lot of, like, women in the hobby and everything, and I love seeing them do well and everything, and it's great. But yeah. I hate bringing up Pascal Amps, but what happened between Adeptus Podcastus? Easy. I started working on Fridays when they were recording, and I wanted to just focus on my own thing. And their way of doing, like, their podcast and everything didn't mesh well with the way that I wanted to go forward with my channel. They swore a lot and they made very lewd jokes and everything. And I do those. I like them, but I don't want them on my channel. I want my channel to be, yeah. Is it true that you once cosplayed Cultish Chan? At an event I did. Midwinter Minis is more of a painting channel. Yeah, I have no reason to watch a painting channel. Like, if it's not makeup, I don't watch it for painting. I mean, we already... let's see. All right, looks like we are out of questions. Wow. All right. Did pretty well. Did pretty well. Oh, man. I am just excited for the future. I can't wait to do, like, more crazy stuff. Let's see. There's a bunch near me. Help. Why? You need which one to pick out first? I mean, that sounds pretty cool. But I think I'm going to get going. I want to thank everybody for watching this stream. If you are awesome, you'll check the links in the description to this video. There you can follow me on all sorts of social media, including like Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can also check out my Discord. If you're super awesome and want to keep supporting the channel, check out my Patreon. It helps out so much. Like, you guys have no idea. Like, literally $1 a month helps out, like, immensely. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for stopping and watching. As always, I'm NornQueen.